this prep, one of my main goals and focuses is to try to better the life balance aspect of it. In 2014, I did a really good job of making sure family and work and all that were priorities, and I balanced out the sport well with those things. But I really want to take it to another level and find even more balance. So the goal is to do this prep in a way where my family doesn't really feel the effects of it. And that's going to be hard because it does take a lot of energy and a lot of sacrifice to attain extreme goals. It's hard not to have people around you impacted from it. So that is my goal, is to try to, make that a reality. As we go along, all the emotions that come with the prep, I'll try to be very transparent. In the days where I'm feeling really good, I'll be, hey, things are going great, and when things aren't going so great, and maybe I'm under a lot of stress, and maybe, there's some things not going according to plan, then I'll do my best to be very transparent, because that's where I feel like people really learn about things, is when we're transparent, through the good and also more importantly through the bad. But last week was the last week of my off season. To be honest, I only got one training session in, and that was because I was in Cancun, Mexico on a family vacation. I got up one morning, was able to get an upper body training session, but as the week wore on, I was just having too much fun, and I really just couldn't find the time to slip away to get an hour of training in for lower body. So I was just like, you know what, this family trip is far more important than a workout, which, in the grand scheme of things, over 30 years of training, I look at one workout, I'm like, needle in a haystack, and it's not like I'm going to lose muscle or lose strength by missing one workout. So no regrets that I took this family vacation 1 week before I start my contest prep. Any advice I could give to people out there who really stress on, going on holidays or going on vacations, and not, they kind of question like, okay, am I going to be able to get my training in? Am I going to be able to follow my macros, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, if you're in the heat of a contest prep, you want to do your best to make those things happen while you're vacationing. I did that in 2014 a couple times. I was able to, execute while I was on vacation. But if you're in an off season and you're not competing anytime soon, and you're stressing over, a week in Mexico or a week in Hawaii or something like that, and you're worrying about if you're going to get your workouts in or not, really think about what is 1 week of missing workouts or maybe not being on point with your diet really going to do in the grand scheme of things. So to me, it's like, if you can get a workout in or two, great. If you can't, it's okay. It up as, just some missed time. When you get back home, get back into your normal routine. Week, 2 weeks later, things usually fall into place. So you'll be fine. So that's kind of my mentality was over, the week in Mexico. I just was like, this trip is far more important than bodybuilding, and because with my family, and those things are priceless. So let's talk about where I'm at now. So not in a pretty spot as far as my conditioning goes. I'm 204 pounds, so I'm 34 pounds over my stage weight. So definitely on the softer side. Again, I want to be transparent with you guys, and I am not happy with how I look whatsoever, and I get insecure about it. Trust me, when I was in Mexico and I had to take my shirt off to go into the swimming pool, I was like, oh man, I just don't really like the way I look, and I feel like people are going to look at me or whatever. But I was like, you know what, screw that, because what I look like does not um, define who I am as a person, you know. So there's more to me than just how much body fat I have on me or not. And body fat, in my opinion, like I can take it off, and I'm gonna take it off. So I was like, you know what, screw it. Take my shirt off, get in that damn pool, enjoy the time with your family. And I had a great time, you know, throwing the kids around in the pool. Often my days are sitting in this chair like the majority of my time, so I'm not really not that active. So cardio is definitely going to be a one of my best friends for a while during this prep. And cardio for me is usually like light intensity, steady state, usually on that stationary bike back there. Or I do a lot of walking, and really that doesn't impede on my gym performance or my recovery. So it's not like I'm doing hit cardio where it's a lot of higher intensities where it's harder to recover from. So for someone like me who's not very active, sitting sedentary all day, doing 30 minutes to upwards to an hour, 5-6 days a week of light intensity cardio is really not a big deal. Out the gates, I'm probably going to start cardio right around probably 5 days a week, 30 minutes, light intensity. So that'll be my cardio. As far as macros, we're going to be at 50 fat, we're going to be at 300 carbs and 200 protein, um, 5 days a week. And then the other 2 days, I'm going to be at 50 fat, 400 carbs, and 200 protein. So 5 low days, 2 high days. I'll run that for 2-3 weeks. I'll run the cardio that I mentioned earlier for 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll see what we get. See what kind of weight loss we're getting, if any at all, and we'll go from there. So obviously, if we're dropping weight and it's at the rate that I want, and I think out the gates, it could be anywhere from 1 to let's say 5 or 6 pounds in the first 2 or 3 weeks. I'd be very happy with that. If it's 5 or 6 pounds, it's assertive, but you have to remember, a lot of this is going to be probably a lot of water weight, because I am pretty bloated right now. So we'll kind of see what we get. If we only get a pound, I won't be alarmed at all. I'll continue to run the same protocol until I see no progress, and then once progress is dead in the water, then I'll probably go ahead and be a little bit more assertive and make an adjustment. But sometimes it takes week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks to see progress manifest itself. I don't want to get impatient and say, okay, after a few days on the scale's not really moving, let's make a change. Or a 1 week's gone by, I haven't seen a change. Let's make, I haven't seen anything on the as far as progress. Let's make a change. I like to make sure, 2 or 3 weeks go by before I see anything with not moving, before I kind of go ahead and make that decision to change something. As far as weight training, it's basically going to be a 4-day split for now. I'm training with my wife, so I want to make sure that we're training together and we have time for the family and the kids. So it's usually 2 or 3 movements in the evenings on our training sessions. And if I do need to get more volume in, then usually what I do is I'll have an AM training session in the morning by myself, where I do 1 or 2 accessory movements to get some more volume in. I really want to make it a point that I work around my wife and I's training schedule out, and the kids' schedule, family schedule. So that's more important, family schedule. So that's why my wife and I, we train in the evenings 4 days a week, and it's usually 2 or 3 movements, and that is it. Because we want to keep those sessions down to about 45 minutes, so we have plenty of time for family stuff, dinner and taking the kids to the park and that kind of stuff. So that, again, that's a high priority for me, is to attain my best ever physique, but making sure that family life balance is priority number one. And so that is basically, again, my priority. So in a nutshell, that's kind of basically where my protocols are at. Hopefully, next week when I update you guys on Tuesday, I'll have more training footage. And yeah, so now it's just all about the GSD, getting shit done. And over the next 2 weeks, again, trying to just really kind of get myself back into the swing of things, a full structure. I think after 2 weeks, I'll be well adjusted. I think the big thing I'm going to probably deal with in the beginning is just, you know, just becoming more and more precise and consistent with protocol. Once the 2 weeks are kind of behind me, I think I'll be like running on all cylinders. Basically, that's about it, guys. Hopefully this didn't bore you too much, and we'll talk more next Tuesday.